What's going on, Guardians? It's Tizzle here, and in this video, I'm going to be breaking down everything you need to know about elemental orbs and letting you know if they are going to be good to use in more difficult content this season. The Day 1 Crota's End raid is right around the corner, so we will see if these orbs will be viable in content such as that, as well as things like Legend of Master Lost Sectors and Nightfalls, and even Grandmaster Nightfalls. So before we get into it, let's look at what the heck elemental orbs even are. We have 3 seasonal perks on our artifact this season that allow us to make elemental orbs for our light subclasses, those being Void, Arc, and Solar. So to activate an elemental orb, you have to get roughly 3 kills with a weapon matching your subclass element type. So 3 Void weapon kills on a Void subclass, you have a chance to spawn an elemental orb. And when you throw this orb, it makes enemies volatile. Unfortunately, the volatile effect does not last very long at all. For Arc, it activates in the exact same way, but the Arc orbs will jolt a target, and then for Solar, same way to activate, but it will scorch targets. One thing to note with the Arc Jolt is that it can stun Overload champions. It will not stun them on the hit from the orb, but it will stun as soon as you deal damage to the target, activating the Jolt. So that's pretty cool. We then have some other artifact mods that can buff these orbs in a variety of ways. Elemental Fury is a perk that makes stun champions take bonus damage from your abilities and elemental orb damage. This is a 70% buff from base orb damage, so it's pretty substantial. And as you can see in the background footage, my orb hits for 28,237 damage thanks to this mod, where at base, the orb damage is 16,610. But by the end of this video, you will be able to see how we can make it hit for almost triple that damage. This mod also buffs your ability damage by 35%, which is crazy. You can see my Flux Grenade hitting for almost 18,000 extra damage thanks to this mod. And with the new Banner of War Synthecept Strand Titan, it can literally one-shot Overload champs and master content. I made a build breakdown of this crazy build if you want to see more info, but yeah, one-shotting master champions with a punch is freaking crazy, where without this mod, you leave them in finisher range. So the next mod that revolves around elemental orbs is Communal Pickups. When an ally destroys your Tangle or picks up your orb, the Tangle cooldown is reduced by 5 seconds and you gain bonus damage with weapons matching your subclass for 10 seconds. This is equivalent to a 3x weapon surge boost for 10 seconds. I made a video showing how this could be used to optimize a DPS strategy if you are using 2 different weapon types, but basically it is a free weapon damage bonus of 22% to any weapon that matches your subclass element. One thing to note though is this is totally useless in solo content as it requires a teammate to pick up your orb. Next we have refreshing pickups. Picking up a Tangle or elemental orb grants energy to your least powered ability. So this one obviously helps with our ability cooldowns. You can see in the background footage that you get a substantial chunk of energy back, probably around 40%. So if you are creating lots of orbs, then this will help you spam your abilities very often. After that we have elemental munitions. Combatant final blows with Tangles or elemental orbs have a chance to drop special or heavy ammo. This one is hard to test, but if you take out a group of adds, you will almost definitely get at least 1 brick to drop, if not a special and heavy brick. These are just finder bricks, so they do give less ammo back than usual, but you can easily counteract this with a scavenger mod. This is especially great on rockets, as you normally would get 1 ammo for a finder brick, but with 1 scav you will get 2, so essentially doubling your ammo return. Your mileage on this one will vary depending on the type of build and loadout you're running. And that brings us to the last mod, Frenzied Stacks. Your armor charges grant bonus damage to your thrown Tangles or elemental orbs. Your armor charge now decays over time. So this is the longest one to break down, but bear with me because I will show proof in the background. So the first thing I want to point out is that elemental orbs are affected by element surge. So if a Lost Sector is Arc and Strand and you are rocking Solar, you will deal 25% less damage with these orbs. I went in the Lost Sector with a Solar subclass and my orb only hit for 9,741 damage. That was enough to leave a red bar drag one shot. I then went back into this Lost Sector with Arc on, and my Arc Orb hits for 12,176 damage and takes out 4 shanks. This is a 25% damage boost, proving that they are affected by surges. So like usual, it is really important to match the surges in the content that you're running. I also want to point out that I was 26 under power when I did that. That was very intentional because I was trying to simulate GM power delta to see if these orbs will be viable in GMs. And as long as you match a surge, it seems like they will be. Leaving a drag one shot sucks, but being able to take out multiple adds by throwing an orb at them is actually quite valuable. So now that we have established that, I want to look at Frenzied Stacks. In this testing I was doing a Legend Lost Sector, so 15 under power. So at base the orb is hitting for 16,610 damage, and then Frenzied Stacks scales based on the stacks that you have. So at 1 stack of armor charge, we hit for 21,593, which is 30% more damage, and then they continue to scale by 30% for every armor stack that you have. So at 2 stacks, you hit for 60% more damage, 3 stacks 90%, 4 stacks 120%, 5 stacks 150%, and 6 stacks 180%. Almost triple damage. And when I spoke about Elemental Fury and mentioned it adds 70% damage, this also stacks. So you can get an orb to hit a champion for 79,000 damage. That is pretty huge, but you do need 6 stacks to do that. And most people in higher end content like to run resist mods for survivability. So just a reminder that to get 6 stacks, you would need 3 charged up mods on your chest piece. 2 mods would get you to 5 stacks, and 1 mod would get you to 4 stacks. But even if you have the base 3 stacks, that is almost double damage. So I think that is a sweet spot for this mod. I highly recommend running it with weapon surges because you will be decaying armor charges anyways, and that extra damage will come in handy. I mentioned how at 26 under light my solar orb left a drag one shot, but the arc orb would do enough damage to kill a drag. Well, if you run frenzied stacks, then you can kill slightly higher health red bars. The Cabal for instance are more tanky, so you'll almost certainly need your orbs to hit harder to take them out. Again, this is in endgame content like GMs. In legend content, this is less important. There you might choose to run elemental munitions instead to keep your ammo topped up. Like I said, in most content I'm running weapon surges, so I'll probably be running frenzied stacks as well so that I can double dip on the armor charges. I also often run font mods which also cause decay. The last few things I want to talk about are the orbs themselves. As I mentioned at the top of the video, you must get at least 3 weapon kills with a weapon that matches your subclass element to spawn in one of these. And when they do spawn in, they last on the ground for 20 seconds, after which they will disappear. There's also an internal cooldown on how often you can make them. I'm not sure the exact cooldown, but the Tangle cooldown is 12 seconds. I think this one is about 10 seconds. So you can't just chew through 20 adds with a machine gun and make like 6 orbs in 6 seconds or something like that. Also, once you pick up the orb, there is a 20-second timer to throw it. If it runs out, the orb will despawn. Orbs do not inflict self-damage like a grenade launcher or rocket does, so that is nice. Also, you cannot jump and swing with them for better movement. There's also a very forgiving time between kills. So say you kill 2 enemies with your arc weapon and then don't get another kill for like 30 seconds, your next kill will still likely drop an orb. I don't know if the timer is infinite, but if it is, this is good to know as you can consciously plan to drop an orb at certain points if you are paying attention to your counter. I'm also not sure if it depends on primary weapon, special weapon, or heavy weapon kills. It seems to be every 3rd kill that they spawn quite consistently, but sometimes I've needed 4 kills and other times I've gotten one in just 2 kills. Maybe it depends on the type of enemy that you kill. But anyways, I just wanted to make this video to show that these orbs are actually quite strong. If you really build into them, they can give you ability energy, weapon ammo, and AoE ad clear and decent single target damage all for free. I've seen a lot of people complaining about the artifact mods this season, but I think it's just because they are a little different from what we've had in the past and people don't quite know how to use them to their full potential. So hopefully this video helps to show that they can be quite good. Again, I even tested them at 26 under light, and with no buffs they can kill red bars. So that's pretty cool. Yes, you need to match your weapons to your subclass to spawn them, but with match game going away, that is very easy to do and something you should be doing anyways to take advantage of elemental surges. Anyways, that's it for me. If you made it this far, then I thank you so much for watching. Have a great day and take care.